AI music bubble has burst. What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about this concept where I think the AI music bubble is bursting. The first thing into this is that basically it's not really sustainable. At the place where we currently stand with computing power and with the devices that most people have in their pockets, the only way that companies are really able to keep doing these AI models is by essentially offloading or paying for the computing costs themselves. And if you actually look into it, this is tanking a lot of companies. Like Stability AI, the people that came up with Stable Diffusion, they made like a tiny chunk of what their AWS, Amazon Web Services budget is. Meaning, like, basically, you might make, let's say they make like 20 million this year. Oh my God, they made 20 million. But then they owe 700 million to AWS. It's like, I don't see how that can last personally. And then again, going back to the computing power thing, it's like, well, our phones definitely aren't powerful enough to run these models yet. Most people don't have laptops yet because the laptops are still like $4,000 and $5,000. Thanks, Apple, that can run this stuff, or even a PC or something like that. They just it's really really crazy the level of power you have to have. So again, all these companies are essentially just running their business model off of, okay, well, we can offload that to Amazon Web Services and stuff. And again, you're seeing you make 20 million and then you owe 700 million. So that's the first thing, is that computing power and limitations are turning this AI thing into a very unsustainable business model. And exactly, we do live in what I guess a lot of people would call late stage capitalism, where the bottom line of being able to do any of this stuff really does come down to money, whether you can A, make money for yourself to sustain it, and then B, make money for the government through taxes and support them with it. So, like, if that's not coming in with the way society is currently set up, I don't see AI music taking over, because for AI music to, like, really take over, we would kind of have to all be able to do our own models. And that's the other thing, is that a lot of this stuff is still locked away behind basically needing to know how to code, or just maybe having connection to people that are really good with that, but then they would also have to be musicians themselves. So it's like a very niche thing, right? So that's the other thing, is like, the models that we have right now are all right, right? Like Suno, certain genres, it's doing a lot better. I definitely think for certain things, it's really cool. I like some of the like shoegaze guitars I made on there, actually, funny enough, or that it made for me. But, a lot of things it really can't do. I mean, yesterday I typed in Future Garage on Suno, and it was like, it sounded like circus music, bro. Like, it's not really doing the whole everything. Yeah, it's cool that exists, and I definitely think that you could download some cool samples off of there. I think you could make some really cool stuff to work with. But if this is like the best that we can make AI music right now, like, we have plenty of time, guys, as musicians. Like, seriously, I'm realizing this is like, I used to kind of think too, like, could AI take over? Is it gonna take over in the next like how many years? I kind of think that we're like 20 years away. Now, do I think that it's possible? 100,000%. Do I think that that is some sort of future at some point? Yes. But the truth is like, I mean, that undertaking of creating like that utopian future of just like you press a button and it makes music, and not just like some kind of like whatever, but the music you want. Like, let's say going to techno, like a real R label group ready track, for example. Like, could you really make a track right now that like would get signed onto, let's say, one of those kind of labels like R Label or Outworld or something? No, hell no. So that's kind of the thing that I'm trying to say here, is it's like, okay, yes, it's making music. Okay, it can definitely make samples that you can go and then chop up, but I mean, I just don't see it right now. And then again, it's going to take a lot of development in not only just like the models and the code that does it, but then also on computers. And not just the computers that developers have, but the computers that like the average person has. The computer that you can get not just for like $4,000 at Apple right now with an M3 Ultra in it, and it's like, okay, cool. But the computer that people can buy for like $400, that's like a sustainable thing that you can get as maybe your first laptop that you make music on. So all of that being said, there's another thing that I think is really important with AI bubble bursting, which is people are still going to want to make art. No, like, is that not going to still be a thing, right? Like, I feel like, okay, yes, in theory, like, if you're talking about, like, major labels, I guess it would be better for, let's say, Warner Bros. To have, like, an AI Ice Spice instead of having to hire a human, at least for that, right? Like, I'm not saying this is better in the grand scheme. I'm saying, like, better for, like, the goals of Warner Brothers Records, which would be, like, least possible overhead, least, like, drama with artists, like, least rights, like, least not having to pay as many producers or as many songwriters. Yeah, for, like, Warner Brothers Records, sure, like, go ahead, just AI Ice Spice, like, please do it, like, whatever. But as far as, like, the passion of making art, that can't go away, man. That's just, like, inherent in humans. And the problem also, this goes back to, like, societal, is that we live in a world where it is considered, like, I read about this yesterday. It's like we live in a world where it's considered really crazy, or it's considered, like, really special to make art. Like, it's considered, like, this thing. But, I mean, it's really nothing that different from needing to eat, or needing to use the restroom, or needing to feel, like, connection to other humans. I think that art is really, like, an inevitable thing that humans do. I mean, a beaver makes a dam, bees make a nest, whatever that's called. I can't think right now, I'm on camera. But hornets make the same kind of thing, right? It's just like a hive, that's what I'm looking for. All of these things are like, living things are meant to produce, are meant to create. They are not meant to only consume. Consumption is an important part of being alive, yes, no doubt, for anything that is alive, right? Even like a tree. But at the end of the day, man, like, we have to keep creating. We have to keep expressing. That is just part of humanity. Yes, there are always going to be people that are very out of touch with that would tell you, oh, I don't have to express, I don't have to create. But they're lost, man. I'm telling you, this is part of life. This is just part of, it's really the same as eating, I feel, personally. And this is why AI can never truly take over, is because it is really, really important for us to create things and for us to express ourselves. It is just the same as, like I said, going to the bathroom, eating, feeling connection to humans. And so, yes, I think AI could assist us. And I also think AI could assist us a lot with the current rate that you have to deliver. Like, you have to keep making stuff all the time. And we are asking artists to create an inhuman amount of work. So, like, maybe that could help with that. Like, if we're going to ask people to drop a new, crazy, amazing, killer song once a month, yeah, maybe, like, having, like, some AI-generated loops might help you to do that in a more efficient way, for sure. But really, bro, like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it completely taking over. Even if it's everybody is listening to AI music only, like, just Warner Brothers has done it. Like, and Universal and Sony, they just did it. Like, no, we're not even signing artists anymore. We're just, like, only AI. And everybody's listening to that, and that's what Spotify is. Okay, fine, but there's still going to always be people that want to make art. You cannot beat that out of the human consciousness. I don't care how fake society gets. I don't care how closed off it gets. I don't care how many paid advertisements there are, essentially. Basically trying to tell you, don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 don't do too much, whatever. But, bro, people are always going to need to make art, and they're always going to need to express themselves. You cannot take that away. And this is why the AI music bubble is bursting, guys. So, yeah, that's going to be it for this one. I really just want to talk about this for you guys and kind of give you a rundown. Hopefully, this makes you a little bit less nervous about the whole thing. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I do think, like, maybe 50 to 100 years from now, it could be better than it is now. I think the bubble's going to burst, man. It's a trend for sure. It's like .com bubble. So, that's for me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video, as well as subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Check out my sample packs at the top of the description on my website. Definitely grab those. It's the best way to make the best music of your life today. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.